around 4 years ago was when I really found my balls and started to try to change as much about my life as possible. And I would call that period from then to now not self-improvement but purposeful mindfulness about everything in as much as possible in my life and everything that I did in my life. And I wouldn't call it self-improvement because of course there were times where I wasn't on self-improvement exactly, where perhaps I had bad days, weeks, maybe even months. There was probably a few months that I had that were bad and not exactly productive. But during those bad periods, it's not only a reminder that perhaps you will never be good enough, so you always have to keep trying. And you would also learn about the worst parts of you that you may need to devote more attention to keep improving, or just not forget. Yeah, just generally not forget and keep focusing on with your mindfulness to try to, I guess, just improve it. There's no other way to put it. And of course, not only because I was young when I started, but also because there was information from a whole lot of different people about what I should do and how I should do it. And so I've had a lot of different mindset changes throughout this time, and also a lot of priority changes and the changes of my actual actions. And I can very, very, very easily say that the most fulfilling and happiest point in my life was when I was doing creative work that felt like, to me, that felt like I was bringing together information from a whole lot of different corners to put together into this video that either was just a video about the information or the information that I gathered to prove a point about to either disprove what an article or someone has said, or to prove that someone is this or that, something along those lines exactly. And I feel this is important enough to talk about because there's, throughout all of these years, all this time, I haven't had consistent, steady income from any source online at the same time. Throughout the same time, I had a few jobs, and throughout those in those jobs, I of course had income, which is infinitely more than zero. And although I would have income that was infinitely more than zero, it didn't. Life and my daily routine and things I did every day, I guess, never felt any better because of the money I had. And I feel like I come from a quite unique perspective to talk about this, because I was definitely cautious. I think I'm a cautious person in general. I definitely used to be a nervous person, but that nervousness now just turned to caution, knowing I should do something, but perhaps not always doing something. And so I'm that kind of person, and a lot of people would relate. However, there are also people who are just 100% doers, and who would start something and do the most important things, and would know where to focus their attention to, and then start doing the things successfully, and achieve what they aim for. And in this context, I'm talking about any sort of online business, online side hustle, side business, or any sort of online income. Of course, there's people who just get it, who are doers and just get it and get it done. Whereas me, very cautious, definitely don't focus on the right things, as is evident through my 200 plus previous YouTube videos, where I tried. That's undeniable, but I didn't try in the right places, and it didn't lead to wasted time or energy, because I learned a lot about myself, and the energy was still ultimately productive, but it wasn't exactly what I was aiming for. I was, of course, aiming for income. And I say all of this because I'm going to call it the self-improvement space, to make it clear, and not have to say go around that term to describe the exact same thing. In this self-improvement space, I know certainly from Andrew Tate, but perhaps some other YouTubers have also mentioned it, how money isn't real because it's just, it used to be more real because it used to be tied to the gold standard, and whereas now it's completely not, and they just literally print it from thin air. And the people who say this and believe this, they say this, yet still obsess about grinding and making as much money as possible, and making millions and buying this and buying that. At the same time, they're saying money isn't real. And so that brings up a massive contradiction, because why would you waste literally all of your attention, I say waste, in the context of money not being real, which they say so surely. And so if money isn't real, why would you spend all of your time trying to get it? There's a hole in the logic. And so I think I fundamentally felt that for perhaps all of my life, because I was never motivated by money. Of course, the thought of making money, and especially doing something I enjoyed, was an incredible thought, and that it only made it better in I guess maybe like the 5 seconds preceding the thought. Yeah, because I was just never motivated by money. Like I just said, I'm going to repeat myself, so I won't. So because money isn't real, I firmly believe, because money isn't real, the best thing to do is express yourself in a positive and productive way. And I think this would tie in perfectly with the quote of, I don't remember the quote, but basically it's that leave a dent in the world, in the universe. Basically work and do your work in a way that will be so impactful that you leave a dent in the universe or the earth, whichever one it is. Because on top of money not being real, it will also not matter a single thing. No amount of money will matter after you die. No one will remember the money you had after you die, is what I'm trying to say. And that there are books by people born over 1,000 years ago who aren't even that popular, and the only reason they are remembered is because of what they wrote. How they are only remembered because of what they expressed in a positive and productive way all those many years ago, and they're still remembered, and some of them are more successful than others, but their money is not remembered. And I could just drone on and on about how money isn't real and why it isn't important, but I think I got the point across. And another point that I felt was important to bring up was that before I made my last video about self-improvement being dead, I wanted to make a video for, I want to say, 8 months. It was in the back of my head for around 8 months, on and off. And of course, even before that, I wanted, when I made that single video over a year ago about if you should give up and why you should, something like that, I wanted to keep making videos, but I didn't. And so those 8 months ago, when it was in the back of my head again, I had the false thought that I will start to make consistent videos again once I am in a good trading routine. I'm trading again, and of course something like that should take a lot of, maybe not a lot, should take a big part of your time and attention to do successfully, of course. And so I thought, and so that was my mindset for the longest time, which is cope and kind of escapism, because if my end goal was to have a good trading routine and consistently make money through trading and also make YouTube videos, if that is my end goal, why would I not start that now? Why would I wait to do this and then do this? I feel like perhaps self-improvement, but definitely the grinding, perhaps red pill community sphere, those people, I think, kind of drilled it into my head that not directly, but they drilled, or I understood that, not understood, I felt the need to only put 100% of my attention into one thing at a time, and it made it very difficult for me to do multiple things at once with varying importance. That's basically it. The grind set made me believe that in sort of a good way, it made me realize what things are important and are not. But it's like the analogy of cutting the fat off of meat, where you want to keep as much meat as possible while taking off as much fat as possible. And with this grind set analogy, for me, it ended up being that I took a whole bunch of meat off because I thought that there's only one most important thing at any given time, and I should focus all my attention on that, which is completely not true. And in nearly paradoxical fashion, between the last video and this video that I'm making now, 3 days later, I think it's 3, I've been really consistent, more disciplined, and I've been less wasteful of my time since I started to make videos, and again started thinking about making videos. and making good points, and bringing together this information to express my opinions and my thoughts and my stories. And although my mind is more occupied, and I have less downtime, really, I feel much better because I understand that this is ultimately what I wanted to do, where I'm trading. I'm trading to I guess funnel, maybe not exactly for the purpose of funneling my attention into something, but it's for the purpose of course, just straight up making money. I'm making videos again with the purpose of funneling my creative energy and my idle mind. That is one thing I noticed 100%. Before, my idle mind, my mind, when it was idling, would just remember things I watched recently. I would make up, like, daydream. I would daydream. And that was before I started thinking about making videos again. I would waste more time, watch more brain dead, maybe not exactly brain dead content, but just more social YouTube content, and I would just remember it, and it would just play through my head again over and over again. And I knew it wasn't good at all, but I couldn't change it. There was literally nothing productive for me to think about. And I even thought about, I wanted for me to think about trading and ideas and stuff, but I guess for me at least, it's I guess just difficult. And on top of trading and making videos, I'm also trying to learn French, just because I enjoy it, which is something I would have never ever done before, because that would feel like a waste of time. Why would I do something out of my purely for enjoyment when I could be grinding and trying to make money? Again, money isn't real, and why would you devote your life to making money and not enjoying your life? Basically, whatever you are doing right now, either don't forget to, or start expressing yourself creatively, whether it's making videos, posting online, making art, making music, or writing, which is kind of the same as making posts. Basically, those sort of things, the sort of things that people could look back on in hundreds of years and appreciate. To give concrete examples, stuff like classical music is timeless. Not exactly, well, it's timeless, but I guess it's just a bit taboo to want to make classical music. But of course, make music if... Oh no. The ideal thing with music actually is for it to have layers, and for it not to be simple to understand. Like something like pop music is simple to understand, whereas maybe a more heartfelt country song or classical music will have layers to it, and meaning in the lyrics, and more passion and energy in the actual instruments. I'll of course make a video about music and sometime to expand on that point, but yeah, so music, write, I know, write about something productive, something useful, something that people will get good use out of. And it can even, I would say that even writing for people to read and just purely enjoy reading it and not exactly gain something productive out of it is still a good use of your time. To a point. I guess what I'm trying to say is that all of the things I mentioned, the writing, making videos, music, art, yeah, I think that was the four. Do it in such a way where you get your point. You express yourself creatively in a way where you can tell a story or send a message or show what you feel or show what you feel, show or tell what you feel about something. And this partly came to mind because I realized the beauty of art. That I seen past the colors and the shapes of things on the canvas. I realized that there are some pictures that people see that just bring it's not just an image, it's a feeling. It brings a feeling. For me, it's nearly 100% pictures of nature where it's just such a comforting and relaxing feeling, and I save a whole bunch of nature photos on my phone because of that. And not because I like trees or the grass or the leaves, it's because of the feeling it gives me. And I think that would be a better way to put what I was trying to say. Not just express yourself creatively in a way that is productive and positive and good, but in a way that brings it, but also in a way that brings that sort of feeling to people. Whether it be you make art and make people feel something, whether you make music and make people feel something, whether it be you write and make people feel something, or whether you perhaps make videos or post on social media. And you also, of course, make people feel, but I would definitely say that there's less depth to post on social media compared to writing or music or art, because those three things are more subjective, whereas posts are nearly purely objective, and the point is given across quite clearly.